What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. And if you saw my last video, you heard how I talked about how Topstep was a game changer for my trading and how it elevated my trading to be able to find success and get payouts. So I thought for this video, it'd be a good idea to talk about Topstep, go over the pros, go over the cons, and ultimately talk about why I believe you should start trading with Topstep. So let's get started. So for those who don't know what Topstep is what is called a prop firm, meaning that they provide capital to traders who can then trade in the financial markets, and in return, they receive a cut of the profits. Now, although this opportunity is available to any trader, only a select few traders will actually be able to get funded by Topstep, and those traders are the ones that are able to pass their evaluation program. But before we get into the evaluation program and talk about the rules and parameters you need to follow, let's just review their website here because it has a lot of good information talking about who Topstep is and why you should be trading with them. So this is the Topstep website, and immediately you're met with some important information. So here it says they've called over 10,000 traders to live accounts. Just in the last year, they were able to give out over 81,000 payouts to traders, and they've been funding futures traders for over 12 years. Why is this important? This is important because this just goes to show you that you are working with a prop firm that you can trust. They've been a pioneer in this space. They continue to innovate and help you ultimately become a better trader and get paid out because of it. So you can rest assured knowing that you're with one of the longest lasting prop firms we have in this space. So if you scroll down a bit, they start to talk about their evaluation program, what they call the trading combine. So there are three different levels to the trading combine. You have the 50K accounts, the 100K accounts, and the 150K accounts. Now, although the rules are pretty much similar throughout all account levels, the numbers are different. You can see that outlined here. So just kind of going over the major differences. Monthly price. So this is going to be a monthly cost. If you do not pass in the first month of the trading combine, you will have to pay the monthly fee again. There's also a profit target for each account. There is also maximum position sizing that cannot be exceeded in each account. And there's also a maximum loss limit, meaning that if in any of these accounts you hit these numbers, that account would be considered as a failure. It would need to be reset if you want to be able to become a funded trader with Topstep. So before we continue to talk about the combines and go over the specific rules to pass a combine, I'm going to log into the dashboard and show you what it looks like when you have an active account with Topstep. So once you purchase a combine from Topstep, you're given access to the Topstep dashboard. Now this is where you'll be able to see all of your active combines and eventually funded accounts and be able to track performance, be able to see a breakdown of stats for each account you have, and also see how close you are to getting a payout in your funded accounts. Now, keep in mind when you're trading in the combine that this is simulated trading, meaning that you're not risking real money in the markets. This is simply an evaluation or a test to see if you have what it takes to be funded with Topstep. So for me, I'm going to reference an old combine I have here, being that all my combines have moved over to the new dashboard. But until they move everyone to the new dashboard, this is what you'll see if you start a combine now with Topstep. So this is an 150K combine, and if you look to the right, it has the rules and parameters you need to follow when trading in this combine. So the first one is reaching and maintaining the $9,000 profit target. This is very self-explanatory. At this account level, you just need to make $9,000 in order to move on. Your best day also cannot be greater than 50% of your total profits. They call this a consistency target. What does this mean? So with my profit target being $9,000, my best day cannot be more than $4,500. If it is, I need to make a little bit of extra money in order to pass the combine, like you can see here. So because of this rule, it means you can't pass a Topstep combine in one day. The quickest you can pass a combine is in 2 days, and that's exactly what I did on this account. If you can see here, my best day was $4,700, and my worst day was also basically $4,700, making my consistency target 50.3%. So there's a little buffer they give you when you're trading these combines. It's not exactly 50%. If you're at that number or just a little bit above it like I was here, they'll still pass you, but you don't want to be anything over 51% or you'll have to make extra money on a separate day in order to fully pass the combine. This account also has the daily loss limit, so you cannot hit or exceed the $3,000 daily loss limit or your account will be deactivated for that trading day. So at this account size, you have a $3,000 daily loss limit, and if it's hit, your account is simply deactivated for that day. You are locked out. You cannot place any more trades for that day, but you can continue trading in the next day. Now, if you remember from before, this specific account size has a $4,500 maximum loss limit. So you could look at it this way. If you trade on the first day and you hit your $3,000 daily loss limit, you can trade in the next day. But if you hit $1,500 in losses that day, the account will be considered failed and you will have to reset if you want to reach the funded level again. Now, there's actually a way around this rule, and that's if you start your combine using Topstep X. Anyone using Topstep X actually doesn't have a daily loss limit, meaning that if you realistically wanted to trade your account up until the maximum loss limit, you can. You can either trade without a daily loss limit, or you can even set a custom daily loss limit, and you're not tied down to the loss limits they have for each account size. And just as a side note, as good as it may sound to trade without a daily loss limit, I strongly suggest that you actually do trade with a loss limit. It just helps you stay disciplined and increases the longevity of your account. We're not looking to make quick money. We're not looking to show flashes of brilliance and then fail. We're looking to be consistent traders who are able to consistently take money out of the markets and enjoy the fruits of our labor. So it's completely up to you, but I know in my personal experience, having a daily loss limit has actually helped my trading, has helped me stay in accounts much longer, and you don't bomb out just because you had one bad day and lose your account. You're actually able to have a bad day, survive, and move on and be able to rebound from that bad day. So completely up to you, but just thought I would share my personal opinion. So if we move on, we have the last rule, which is basically your maximum loss limit rule. For this account size, I can't let my account balance hit or go below 150,000. Now, when you first get a combine, that rule is not going to look like that. It would actually say that you can't let your account balance hit or go below $145,500. Meaning that when you start your account, you basically can't go negative $4,500. Now, this rule is a dynamic rule, meaning that as you make money in your combine, this rule actually moves up. So for the first $4,500 you make in your account, your loss limit will continue to move up to a maximum of $150,000. It won't move past $150,000. The more money you make past that, your maximum loss limit will stay static and it'll just become your account balance, meaning that if you were up $7,000 in this specific combine, then your maximum loss limit would be $7,000 because you can't let it hit 150,000. So this rule moves along with your profit up until the starting balance when you started your combine. So you're going to want to come here at the end of each trading day just to review where you are in your trading combine and see what rules you are following, what adjustments you need to make to your trading, and also you can see your trading stats. So if you scroll down here just a bit, you have a chart that shows where you are in your trading combine. So this gray line here is going to show your profit and or loss for each day in the trading combine, right? So it says here the day one, I made $47.86. And on day two, I hit the profit target for the account, making $4,727. Now, the second line here, the second red line is actually your daily loss limit. So if you are not trading on Topstep X, you will have a daily loss limit. And this line reflects where your daily loss limit is in accordance to your account balance. Now, this last line here is your maximum loss limit. So this line is the line that shows you what you can't hit if you want to maintain your trading combine. So as you see here, after my first day, my maximum loss limit moved up to 150,000 and stays static at that point. It won't go past the starting balance of your combine. So you can use this as a reference to see where you are in the combine, how much more money you need to make to hit the profit target, how close you are to hitting the maximum loss limit, and you can also see how many days it takes you to pass the combine. They also have a few extra stats up top as far as when you started the combine, when it ended. It shows how many days you have in the combine and how many of those days are actually winning days. So it's all cool stats to see. So if you scroll down a bit, you can actually see detailed stats about your trading in the combine. So if you trade more than one market, you'll actually see separate tabs here with stats broken down for each market. But for me, I only traded the NASDAQ. They show your average profitability per trade. They show your average winning trade, your winning trade percentage, average losing trade. And in those boxes, they actually show your smallest and biggest winners and losers. They also have your reward to risk ratio listed on the bottom. Now, this is something good to reference because you can actually make adjustments to your trading based on the stats you see here. Let's say, for example, that your average winning trade is actually smaller than your average losing trade. Well, then you may want to make an adjustment to your trading so that your reward to risk ratio actually makes sense. Or if your winning trade percentage is a little too low, maybe you want to be more selective in the trades you take so you can increase your win rate. So overall, this is a great place to look to be able to make adjustments to your trading and really see if you have a winning formula for the combine. So if you continue to scroll down, they actually break out your trading stats by day. Now this is awesome to look at because you have a lot of information here that can really help your trading and show you if you're actually on the path to passing a combine, and not only passing the combine, but showing consistency in your trading. So you can see the days you traded, you can see the net P&L, but you can also see important stats like P&L high, P&L low, how many trades you took on the day, what your trade winning percentage was on that day, and how many win-loss trades you had in a row. Now, this is a great area to look at to really take a deep dive into your trading because it can show you what you're doing right and also what you're doing wrong, right? Let's say, for example, there's a huge discrepancy between your P&L high and your net P&L at the end of the day. That could be a sign that you're over trading and you need to know when to pump the brakes and when to call it a day and be happy with the money you made. Or let's just say your P&L low is always starting in the negative. Well, maybe you need to be more selective with your trading and be patient, not take every trade setup you see, but be more selective so that you're not always having to fight out of a hole. So this area is extremely helpful to see what adjustments need to be made to your trading. And the last thing we have to go over in the combines are the resets. So let's say you hit the maximum loss limit in your combine, you will ultimately fail that combine and will need to pay a reset fee to make that combine eligible for funding again. Now, this reset fee is actually the same as your monthly fee for the account size you chose. So let's just say, for example, you chose the 50K combine. A reset would cost $50 at that combine level. For an 150K combine, it would actually cost $150. So now that we spoke about the combine, I just want to go into what it actually looks like when you're able to pass a combine and get into a funded account. So at Topstep, there are two different levels of funded accounts. You have the first level being the Express funded account, and you have the second level being the Live funded account. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the Live account, but basically it's an account you receive once you've been trading in an Express funded account and you've shown consistency and have been able to take at least 5 payouts from the same Express funded account. You will then be transferred to a live account, and in this live account, your orders will actually be hitting the books. You'll be in the real markets, and there are some benefits that come with being in a live account, such as having direct access to the risk team, and they've actually talked about even adding more benefits such as performance bonuses, where based on the profits you make in your live account, you then receive performance-based bonuses. So for example, if you reach $15,000 profit in your live account, they will add an extra $1,000 to that. Or if you reach $50,000 in profit in your live account, they will add an extra $20,000 to that. So this is still in the beginning stages as they're still working out what the profit targets are actually going to be, but they have said that you can get up to $250,000 in extra money from this initiative. So it's definitely something to look forward to as a live trader and makes being a live trader that much more sweet. But that's the live funded account. Let's talk about the Express funded account. So when you pass the combine, there is a one-time $150 activation fee that needs to be paid in order to receive your Express funded account. But once that's paid, you'll be able to trade in your Express funded account and ultimately get a payout from it. So this is the dashboard for an Express funded account. So similar to a combine, you are still sim trading here, but with the added benefit of being able to actually take payouts from this account and from your trading. So let's just go over the objectives because it's a little different from the combine. So the first metric here is you need to have at least 5 winning days of $200 or more in order to get a payout. So this is really the only metric you have to worry about in order to qualify for your payout, and that's just having 5 winning days of $200 or more. They don't need to be consecutive, they don't need to be in the same week. You just need to have 5 winning days of $200 or more, and you're able to take a payout. And this payout can be up to 50% of your account balance and or capped at $5,000. And we'll go into the details about the payouts later, but that's what you need to worry about in order to qualify for a payout. So you also need to follow the scaling plan. Now, the scaling plan wasn't in the combine, but basically it just limits you on the amount of contracts you can trade initially until you reach certain profit targets in the Express funded account. And if we go to this tab here, we can see more detailed information on what this actually looks like per account size. Now, this rule also updates at the end of the day, meaning that, for example, if in a 50K account you made $3,000, you would actually be able to trade 5 lots. But because it updates at the end of the day, you would actually have to wait until the next trading day in order to be able to trade up to 5 contracts. So this is good to know and reference because not every platform stops you from trading with too many contracts. I personally know Tradeovate and Topstep X will stop you from using too many contracts. It'll say order rejected, but not every platform will do that, which will result in you failing the express funded account and having to restart in a combine. So it's good to keep track of this to make sure that you're following the scaling plan, and also consider that if you fall back into this threshold, right? For example, if you had $3,000 profit in your 50K account, but then went below 3,000, let's say ended up at 1,700, you would actually be limited now to 3 lots and not 5. You would actually go backwards. So it's a good thing to keep in mind that you're constantly following the scaling plan and are aware of these amounts, because you don't want to lose an express funded account because you just used too many contracts. But let's go back to the dashboard and look at the other things that we have here. Now, the only other rule we have to look at is do not let your account balance hit or go below $0. It's the maximum loss limit. So because I have profit in this account already, it actually shows 0. But when you first start your express funded account for this account size, it would actually say do not let your account balance hit or go below negative $2,000. So different from the combine, you actually start at $0. You don't start with 50,000 or 150,000. You start at $0, and your trading is actually reflected in your overall account balance. So outside of that, everything else is the same on this dashboard. You have the same chart to look at, the same stats. It breaks it down on a daily basis. Everything is pretty much the same from here on out with the combine, but obviously you have the added benefit of being able to get payouts from this account. So I won't go into too much detail right now about the payout process, being that I'm going to record a video showing a live payout request so you guys can see what that actually looks like when requesting a payout from Topstep. But just to give a basic breakdown, remember you need to have your 5 winning days of $200 or more. They don't need to be consecutive or in the same week. You just need to have 5 winning days of $200 or more, and you qualify for a payout. And keep in mind, they also added a $5,000 payout cap per express funded account and per request. So let's just say, for example, you made $15,000 in those 5 trading days and wanted to request up to 50% of your balance. You would actually be capped at $5,000 for that request. But if you make anything below that threshold, you'll be able to request up to 50% of whatever your account balance is at the time. I would just make sure that you leave yourself a little bit of a buffer and money to trade with, being that the minute you take a payout from your account, your maximum loss limit actually gets moved up to $0. So let's just say that you made $3,000 in the 5 trading days. If you take a payout of $1,500, your account is left with $1,500, but now your maximum loss limit will be at $0. It is not going to reset and give you the $2,000 that you would initially have. It's going to just be the money you have in your trading account. So just always consider when you take a payout to leave a little buffer so you can continue trading and continue taking profits from that account. So now that we've gone over just about everything Topstep has to offer, let's talk about the pros and let's talk about the cons. I'll start with the pros first, and in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits trading with Topstep has to offer is the fact that you don't have to risk your own money when trading in the markets. I know when I first started trading futures, I deposited $3,000 into my personal brokerage account and lost it pretty soon afterwards. So when you're trading with Topstep, you can keep your entry to the market as low as $50 a month, and you get access to trading, and you can learn, hone your skills, and you don't have to worry about losing substantial amounts of money in the market before you actually know what you're doing. So to me, that's one of the biggest benefits trading with Topstep has to offer. So that's number 1 on my list. The second benefit would be their simple rules and straightforward payout policy. When you compare them to other firms, they definitely have simpler rules. They're straightforward and nothing's hidden. Nothing's behind the curtain. There's no hidden rules. What you see in the dashboard is what you need to do to either pass the combine or qualify for a payout in a funded account. And when you request that payout, it's quick, the process is simple, and you get your money fast. I know in my personal experience, when I've requested a payout from Topstep, I've gotten it within 1 or 2 days of requesting. I've never had an issue when requesting payouts from Topstep. So you can rest assured if you're in a combine or if you're in a funded account, there are no hidden rules you need to worry about. And when you request a payout, you'll get your money fast. So to me, that's number 2. Now, the third benefit with trading with Topstep is the return on your investment. Let's use my express funded account here as an example. I paid $50 for the combine and $150 to activate my express funded account. And just in the past 5 days, I've been able to make over $14,000 in this account. Today was the last trading day I needed to have in order to qualify for a payout, and it was a green day. So I now qualify for a payout. I'm able to take $5,000 from my express funded account and now put it in my pocket. At a 90-10 profit split, I'm keeping $4,500 and putting it in my pocket. So I spent $200 to make $4,500. And I still have $9,000 in my trading account right now that I can continue to trade and hopefully make more money and eventually qualify for another payout. Now, this doesn't mean that you'll have the same results, as results differ for every trader, especially if you're a beginner trader, but this just goes to show you what is possible. I invested $200 into this account and have been able to take out $5,000. If you deposited the same $200 into a personal brokerage account, it would be extremely difficult to replicate the results I've shown in the past 5 days. So to me, this is the third biggest benefit about trading with Topstep. Now that we've spoken about the benefits of trading with Topstep, let's talk about the cons. And now this first con I'm going to talk about may or may not be a con to some people, depends on whether you're a disciplined person or not. But if you're undisciplined, it can definitely get bad very fast. And that's the combine fees, the reset fees, and the activation fees. Although their pricing is super competitive when compared to other firms, if you're an undisciplined person, you can still run into some trouble if you're constantly blowing through combines, having to reset multiple times a day, or paying a lot of activation fees. Those numbers start to add up. And if you're an undisciplined person, you can definitely put yourself in a hole that you originally weren't in. I've seen online plenty of people who have been very undisciplined when it comes to trading these combines, who have put themselves in massive amounts of debt, trying to pass combines and trying to have a crazy big day in an XFA. And instead of having that crazy big day, they've actually just gone further and further in debt. They've been, tens of thousands of dollars I've seen of people spending money on combines and fees and all that. So it's definitely something to watch out for. If you are a disciplined person, then this will not happen to you. And it's like I said, the pricing is super competitive when you compare it to what else is out there. But if you're not a disciplined person, this is definitely something you have to watch out for. And just make sure that you're spending within your means. Now, this is something they actually address in the new dashboard, to where they actually limit the amount of times you can reset in a day and the amount of combines that you can purchase in a month. So you can only reset the same account twice a day. You can only purchase 10 combines a month. Keep in mind, this is only for the new dashboard. So if you're not on the new dashboard yet, you will still need to be accountable for yourself and be able to see how much you're spending on combines and resets, and just make sure that you're spending within your means. But if you're a disciplined person, this won't be an issue for you, so it's not something that you'll have to worry about. So let's move on to the next one. The second con would be the differences between Topstep X and other platforms. Topstep X has a lot of features that traders want on other platforms, but they're currently not available, such as being able to customize your daily loss limit or the 1 to 10 micro scaling. That's not available on other platforms. It's only available on Topstep X. So if you're a trader that wants to use these features, you almost feel forced to have to trade on Topstep X. I know in my personal experience, I've used Topstep X. I like it. I currently use it for my funded account now. I haven't had any issues with it, but I completely understand if you want to stick to what you're used to and stick to what works for you. As of right now, it's only available on Topstep X, but we hope that with the new dashboard, they're able to expand these features to the other platforms as well. And lastly, the third con would be the payout cap that they put on express funded accounts. Back in the day, you were able to take out up to 50% of your account balance when you reach the 5 winning days in your XFA, but now they've since changed that and put a $5,000 payout cap per request per account. So this can be limiting to traders that are able to make more money in a shorter amount of time, yet are limited to only taking out $5,000 at a time. We can use my express funded account as an example. In the past 5 days, I've been able to make $14,000. And if the old rules were in place, I would be able to take out $7,000 as my payout. But since they've put the payout cap, I can only take out $5,000. So it can definitely be limiting for some traders. Other traders may not have to worry about it because their payout amounts are smaller. But if you're a trader that's able to make more money, it definitely can feel limiting and be frustrating. But it's also an added benefit of being in the live account because you are able to take up to 50% of your account balance every payout. You don't have to worry about a payout cap. So it's definitely good to be in a live account, especially now that they're adding these performance bonuses. It's definitely where you want to be and the goal you should set for yourself when you're trading these express funded accounts. So considering everything we spoke about in this video, I firmly believe that Topstep is the way to go if you're into futures trading. If you're a new trader, it's somewhere where you can learn, you can practice, hone your skills, and the rules that they've set in place really teach you how to be a disciplined trader and show you what you need to do to succeed. And if you're an advanced trader, there's definitely a lot of benefits you can take advantage of, such as copy trading up to 5 express funded accounts and being able to carry that balance into a live account where you can have performance bonuses up to $250,000. I know I look forward to being able to take advantage of their performance bonuses, and I also look forward to any new changes they have coming our way, especially with this new dashboard. They've added so many great features to this dashboard that I've been enjoying. And like I said earlier, I'm going to make a video on the new dashboard showing you what it looks like, what these new features are. So stay tuned for that. But I appreciate everyone for watching the video today. If you had any questions about what we spoke about, or if you don't understand something, please leave a comment down below. I'll be going through all the comments and answering your questions in as much detail as possible. So if you have a question, please leave it down in the comments below. And also let me know what other videos you would want to see on my channel. I know my next video is going to be a live payout request, so you can actually see what it looks like to get a payout from Topstep and see how long it takes to actually receive the money in your bank account. But let me know what other type of videos you want to see here. Again, I thank you all for watching today. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And always remember to stay disciplined, be patient, and trade without fear. I'll see you guys in the next video.